Does anybody have more entitlement or control over your own body than you? No, of course not. During times of need, the popularity and demand of blood can often increase. This could sometimes lead to shortages, and some propose that a solution to this problem would be government compulsory blood donations for healthy adults. This is not a solution. The government should not require healthy adults to donate blood. Why? Well, it is dangerous, it is expensive, and ultimately, it's unnecessary. Now, why is it dangerous? Well, it infringes upon your rights. According to the American Red Cross, only 37% of adults across the United States meet the strict health and eligibility requirements needed to give blood in the first place. Secondly, this would also disrupt the moral feeling of knowing that you willingly helped someone in need. Is it really a donation anymore if you're being forced to do it? Thirdly, this could pave the way for other infringements. What if the government wanted compulsory organ donations, compulsory sperm donations, compulsory bone marrow donations? These are just not necessary and infringe upon your basic human rights. Not to mention, the blood business is extremely complex and very expensive. Blood donations require extremely specialized equipment. This equipment, even in a single donation center, can cost upwards of $20,000. Not just that, but the price of a single pint of blood is around $300. Now, if 37% of Americans donated just 1 pint of blood each, that would cost in excess of $30 billion. Increased production requires increased processing and testing. This would drive up the cost of blood, which is something that a lot of people cannot afford. Not just that, but there is also a system of people who have been tested, who are tracked, who are checked in order to make sure that they are still healthy and eligible to donate blood. And overflowing that system with people could also drive up the price of blood. Not only would compulsory blood donations be morally questionable and expensive to implement, but they really aren't necessary. After the 2017 Las Vegas shooting, lines were formed in the hundreds, according to a Chicago PBS station, of people donating blood. Now, this may sound like a really good thing. However, local health centers were so overwhelmed that they actually had to throw away 17% of the donated blood. Let me give you another one. The University of South Florida conducted a study. In the days following the September 11th attacks, almost 500,000 pints of blood were donated. However, only around 300 pints of blood were actually needed to treat survivors. Now, blood has an extremely short shelf life of only 42 days. Now, I don't know about you, but 500,000 minus 300 leads to a huge amount of blood lost and really wasted. And really, if there is a need to donate blood, this shows that people are ready and available to do just that. Now, what can we do? Well, the most apparent and reasonable solution here is providing incentives for blood donations. For instance, since the 1970s, the United States has implemented tax breaks for charitable donations. That's your Goodwill, your Salvation Army. This gives a certain amount of tax cuts for households who give a certain amount of things away to charity. Now, according to this graph, charitable donations have increased steadily since the 1970s when this exact thing was implemented. The solution here is incentives. tax breaks, monetary compensation. We can see this already with plasma donations. I'm sure you've seen commercials where people are advertising plasma donations with compensation. People like to be compensated, and compensating people for donating their blood and their time would no doubt increase the amount of blood donations. Now, what's the point? I am by no means saying that donating blood is bad and unnecessary, because in truth, it is an extremely important facet of our society as a whole, and it is extremely necessary to the medical community. And people who are eligible to give really, really should, and I cannot stress that enough. However, government control over the bodies of citizens is not the solution to this problem. Thank you.